So, you don't believe in climate change? I understand. I think it might be the case that what you hear about climate change is along the line of these headlines. Well, it does sound absurd. The media seems to be blowing things out of scope or talking about something very distant or weird to catch attention. Whatever, the point is you are not convinced or simply do not care. But the truth is, what they say actually holds true to a certain extent. Climate change is real, and what would convince you is empirical evidence. But first, let's get the gist of the big picture. Climate change is manifested most obviously in something called global warming, which is basically the world getting hotter. Here's a chart showing the temperature deviation from the 1951-1980 average. We can clearly see in the right-hand part, temperature has been surging since 1980 with less fluctuation, which means less and less positive sign for our time. You might wonder, so what is the cause? Yes, there cannot be smoke without fire. Here's the CO2 level recorded in the same period. You can see for yourself it is also surging after 1975. This leap in CO2 emissions strongly correlates with temperature rise, evident in the points scattering very close to the red straight line. CO2 comes straight from all the fuel we burn every day to run our industry and cater our needs. We also know higher temperature would lead to faster melting, right? So here you go, ice melting, and as ice melt, sea level also rises. Climate change is very real. If it is still abstract and distant to you, just think about when we complain. We complain a lot about high electricity bills every month, not knowing that global warming makes us more dependent on air conditioners. We also complain about wearing masks when going out and having to buy expensive air purifiers. We complain about high extra medical fees of lung diseases, food and waterborne illnesses, and insect-transmitted infections. Well, that is the air quality getting worse due to increasing CO2. We also cry to God about floods, earthquakes, and hurricanes that have made people lose everything from houses to families. We complain about everything that makes our life uncomfortable, but never look back to its main root. Now you name it. You should know that climate change is never going away, unless you act now and right now. But before we come to that part, please remember that climate change is real.